The pink envelope sliced through the air like a guillotine, landing at her feet with a wet slap against the rain-soaked Barcelona pavement. "You lied to me," Destiny whispered, her voice cracking like thunder over the Gothic quarter, as the words she'd buried for months clawed their way out. In that instant, the world narrowed to Eden's wide brown eyes, mirroring back the storm of betrayal that had just shattered everything. Destiny Harper had always prided herself on precision, her life a meticulously folded map of boardroom battles and charity galas back in Chicago, where envelopes came in crisp white, sealed with the wax of good intentions. But here in the labyrinthine alleys of Spain's Catalonia region, where the air hummed with the scent of paella and protest chants, everything unraveled. She'd come to Barcelona 6 months ago on a whim, fleeing the sterile grip of her family's expectations after her father's death left her the reluctant steward of the Harper Foundation. At 35, with her sharp jawline and emerald eyes that could negotiate a merger or silence a room, Destiny was the epitome of Midwestern steel wrapped in Lululemon armor. She hated pink. Hated the way it screamed softness, vulnerability, the very things her mother had beaten out of her with lessons in proper womanhood. Pink was for the frivolous, the deviant, the things that didn't fit into neat tax-deductible boxes. Her first pink envelope arrived innocently enough, slipped under the door of her rented apartment in the Eixample district. Glossy, embossed with a rainbow swirl she mistook for some artsy Catalan flair. It begged for a donation to empower her voices, a vague non-profit promising to uplift women in marginalized communities. Destiny, ever the philanthropist, wrote the check without a second glance. €5,000, a drop in the foundation's ocean. It felt good, righteous even, to throw money at causes that aligned with her worldview. Strong women pulling themselves up, no handouts, no drama. She crumpled the envelope and tossed it into the recycling bin, its color a fleeting annoyance like the tourists clogging La Rambla. Eden Morales, on the other hand, thrived in the chaos. At 28, with her cascade of auburn curls and a laugh that could disarm a riot cop, she was the beating heart of Barcelona's underground queer scene. Born to Mexican immigrant parents who'd settled in Madrid before she fled north for the city's freer pulse, Eden had built her life around the very causes Destiny funded blindly. She volunteered with a network of grassroots activists, organizing poetry slams in hidden bodegas and pride marches that snaked through the Barrio Gothic like veins of defiance. Eden's brown eyes held the warmth of sun-baked terracotta, but beneath them simmered a fire forged from too many nights consoling friends rejected by families who saw love like hers as a stain. She didn't seek out the polished expats like Destiny. They were tourists in her world, sipping sangria while she fought for the right to exist. Their paths crossed at a charity auction in the Palau de la Música Catalana, that gilded concert hall where crystal chandeliers dripped like frozen tears. Destiny was there as a guest of honor, her foundation's logo emblazoned on the program, schmoozing donors in a navy sheath dress that hugged her athletic frame. Eden had been roped in as a volunteer, her faded jeans and amour sin fronteras, a stark contrast to the sequins. She was manning the silent bid table when Destiny approached, scanning the lots with the efficiency of a hawk. "Excuse me," Destiny said, her Chicago accent clipping the Spanish air like a winter wind. "This one's mislabeled. It says proceeds to women's health, but the fine print mentions advocacy." Eden glanced up, her smile automatic, the kind honed from defusing tense standoffs at rallies. "See, it's for comprehensive care. Everything from clinics to community support. Keeps the full picture in focus, you know." Destiny's brow furrowed, but something in Eden's steady gaze, unflinching, alive, held her. "Full picture. I like that. I'll bid 10,000. By night's end, they'd shared a glass of cava in the foyer, Eden teasing Destiny about her corporate crusader vibe, Destiny retorting with stories of Chicago blizzards that made Barcelona's drizzle seem like a spa day. It was easy, effortless, the way Eden leaned in, her curls brushing Destiny's shoulder, igniting a spark Destiny mistook for cultural curiosity. They exchanged numbers. Eden scrawled on a napkin. Destiny's typed into her phone with deliberate care. Weeks blurred into stolen afternoons. Eden dragged Destiny to the Boqueria market, where the riot of colors and spices chipped at her rigid edges. "Try this," Eden would say, pressing a slice of jamon into her palm, her fingers lingering just long enough to send a forbidden warmth curling through Destiny's veins. They wandered the Parc de la Ciutadella, picnicking under plane trees where Eden recited Lorca poems, her voice weaving magic into the mundane. Destiny found herself laughing real unguarded laughs that echoed off the boating lake. For the first time since her father's funeral, the weight in her chest lightened. But pink envelopes kept coming. One from Sisters United, another from Rainbow Roots Initiative. Each time, Destiny signed off on the donations, her foundation's accountant back in Illinois handling the wires without question. She hated the envelopes, their garish hue mocking her from the mailbox, but the causes sounded noble, echoes of her own feminist leanings. She never read past the summaries. Time was a luxury she rationed tightly. Eden knew better. As the coordinator for a coalition of LGBTQ+ nonprofits, she recognized the Harper Foundation's name immediately. It was one of their biggest silent donors, funneled through umbrella orgs that masked the specifics. At first, she told herself it was karma, a cosmic joke that this buttoned-up American was bankrolling the very marches she might clutch her pearls at. But as dates turned to dinners, candlelit tapas in Gracia, where Eden's hand would brush Destiny's under the table, she wrestled with the truth. Confession felt like a grenade, silence a slow poison. "It's just money," she'd whisper to herself in the mirror, her reflection fractured by the bathroom light. "Love isn't built on ledgers." The lie festered. Destiny, sensing Eden's shadows, pressed gently. "You're holding back," she'd say over coffee at a cafe on Passeig de Gracia, her green eyes searching. Eden would deflect with a kiss, soft, tentative at first, then deepening in the privacy of Destiny's apartment overlooking the Sagrada Familia spires. Their intimacy unfolded like a secret garden. Hands tracing collarbones in the hush of midnight. Whispers of stay, against skin that tasted of salt and saffron. Destiny, who had dated men like Resumes, predictable, performant, discovered a tenderness she'd never known. Eden made her feel seen, not as the Harper heiress, but as a woman with cracks and dreams. Yet doubt not. Destiny's family back home sent clippings, articles on traditional values, veiled warnings about the agenda infiltrating charities. Pink, always pink, the color of the envelopes piling up in her drawer, a guilty secret she couldn't name. The breaking point came on a humid August evening, the kind where Barcelona's heat clings like regret. Destiny had planned a surprise, a sunset cruise along the port, complete with a bottle of Albarino and a playlist of Joni Mitchell covers. But Eden arrived late, her face ashen, clutching her phone like a lifeline. "We need to talk," she said, her voice barely audible over the lap of waves against the dock. They boarded anyway, the boat slicing through the Mediterranean's ink-blue expanse. As the city lights twinkled like distant fireflies, Eden confessed. Not in a rush of words but haltingly, piecing it together like a mosaic of shame. "Those donations, the ones from your foundation, they're going to us, to groups like mine. LGBTQ+ support, pride events, safe houses for kids kicked out for being who they are." Destiny froze, the wine glass slipping from her fingers to shatter on the deck. "What?" The word was a gasp, the world tilting. Flashes, the envelopes, the summary she'd skimmed, the rallies she'd seen from her apartment window, rainbow flags waving like accusations. "You knew? All this time?" Eden reached for her, but Destiny recoiled. "I didn't plan it. Just happened. And then you happened. I thought, I hoped, maybe it didn't matter." "It matters." Destiny's voice rose, sharp as the prow-cutting waves. "I fund women's empowerment, not this. Not the parades, the politics that tear families apart. My mother, God, she warned me about people like you, preying on the generous." The words landed like slaps, Eden's eyes welling. "People like me? I'm not a predator, Destiny. I'm just trying to love without apology. And you made me believe you could too." The boat docked in silence, the chasm between them wider than the sea they'd crossed. Destiny fled to her apartment, the pink envelopes spilling from the drawer like confetti from a ruptured heart. She spent the night scrolling donor reports, the truth unfolding in spreadsheets. Millions rerouted to queer youth shelters, trans health clinics, pride scholarships. Her legacy perverted. Betrayal burned hot, then cold. She fired off emails to her accountant, demanding audits, clawbacks. But deeper, a hollow ache bloomed. For Eden's laugh, her touch, the way she'd made Barcelona feel like home. Eden meanwhile threw herself into work. A pride event loomed, the annual Marca del Orgullo winding from Placa de España to the beach, a riot of color against the summer swelter. She coordinated floats, speakers, the endless logistics that kept her from crumbling. Friends noticed her distraction, the way her smiles faltered. "Is it the American?" her best friend Leah asked over churros at dawn. Eden nodded, tears salting the sugar. "I thought she was different. But fear wins every time." As September's equinox approached, bringing cooler breezes and the first hints of autumn rain, Destiny wrestled her demons. She walked the Barri Gothic alone, past graffiti-scrawled walls proclaiming, "Amor yes amor." In a tiny bookstore off Cara de la Merce, she found a worn copy of Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider, its pages dog-eared by hands like Eden's. Reading by lamplight, Destiny confronted the mirror. Her hatred of pink wasn't about color, but control, the fear of losing the script her family had written. The Pride March day dawned defiant. Destiny watched from her balcony, the procession a serpentine ribbon of glitter and banners snaking below. She saw Eden at the front, megaphone in hand, her curls tied back with a rainbow bandana, voice rising in a chant for visibility, for love unchained. Something cracked inside her, a fissure widening to revelation. She descended, heart pounding, weaving through the crowd. The rain started as she reached the fringes, a sudden downpour that turned the streets to mirrors. Spotting Eden near a cluster of drummers, Destiny called out, her voice lost in the din. She pushed forward, envelope in hand, one of the pinks smoothed and resolute. "Eden!" The chant faltered. Heads turned. Eden lowered the megaphone, her face a mask of guarded hope. "Destiny? What are you?" "I was wrong." The words tumbled, rain mingling with tears on her cheeks. "About the envelopes, about you. I thought funding meant control, but it's trust. And I trust you with my heart, my fears, everything." Eden's eyes searched hers, the crowd a blurred halo. "You pulled the donations. I saw the emails circulating." Destiny thrust the envelope forward. Inside, a new check, not clawed back but doubled. "Not anymore. I read it all this time. The safe houses, the scholarships. It's not perversion. It's people. Like you. Like us." The rain intensified, drenching them, but Eden stepped closer, her hand finding Destiny's. "Us? You mean?" "I mean I'm scared," Destiny admitted, voice breaking. "Of my family, of the headlines, of what loving you looks like back home. But I'm more scared of a world without you in it." Eden's laugh was a sob, pulling her into an embrace that defied the storm. Around them the march swelled. A chorus of cheers, strangers clapping, the pink and rainbow a tapestry of acceptance. In that moment, betrayal transmuted to grace, fear to fierce devotion. They didn't rush. Therapy sessions in a sunlit office near the port, where Destiny unpacked her mother's edicts and Eden her guarded heart. Letters home, halting at first, then bold, announcing her truth, the foundation's pivot to unapologetic advocacy. Backlash came. Board resignations, family silences that echoed like voids. But Barcelona held them, its ancient stones whispering resilience. By winter, as Christmas lights twinkled along the Passeig de Gracia, they adopted a stray cat named Rosa, a nod to the color that had once divided them. Destiny's envelopes turned pink by choice, each one a vow. And in the quiet nights, wrapped in each other's arms, they built a love not of drama's heights, but humanism's steady glow. Two women, flawed and full, funding not just causes but each other. The solstice brought snow to the Pyrenees foothills, a rare dusting that dusted Barcelona's rooftops like powdered sugar on forgotten churros. Destiny and Eden escaped the city for a weekend cabin in the mountains, the kind with a stone hearth and windows fogged by their breaths. It was Eden's idea, a reset after the holidays, when Destiny's phone had buzzed with voicemails from her aunt in Evanston, voice laced with that passive-aggressive concern. "We're just worried, dear. This phase, it's not you." Destiny had deleted them mid-drive, her knuckles white on the wheel of the rented Fiat. The cabin smelled of pine and possibility. Eden unpacked provisions, manchego cheese, membrillo, a bottle of Priorat Red, while Destiny built a fire, her movements precise but softening at the edges. 6 months since the march, and the rhythm of them still felt like learning a new language. Tentative verbs, nouns heavy with history. That night, as flames danced shadows across the rafters, Eden curled against Destiny's side on the threadbare rug. "Tell me about Chicago winters," she murmured, tracing lazy circles on Destiny's arm. Destiny hesitated, the old reflex to deflect kicking in. But Eden's warmth coaxed it out. Stories of Lake Michigan's ice flows, sledding down dunes with her brother before he joined the family firm and forgot how to play. Dad would bundle us up, say it built character. Mom hated the mess. Always in her pearls, even shoveling snow. Eden propped on an elbow, her curls a halo in the firelight. And you? What did little Destiny want to be under all that snow? A smile tugged unbidden. A lawyer, I think. Or a spy. Someone who fixed things quietly. She paused, eyes distant. But mostly I wanted to make them proud. The Harpers don't bend. We build. Eden's fingers stilled. And now? With the foundation shifting, pouring into queer programs, what do they say? Destiny's jaw tightened. They say I'm radicalized. That you're influencing me. The word hung bitter as oversteeped tea. Eden sat up, pulling her knees to her chest. Influencing? Like I'm some cult leader. Hurt flickered raw. I never asked you to change, Des. I just asked you to see. The fire crackled, amplifying the silence. Destiny reached, cupping Eden's face, soft, freckled, the map of her she'd memorized in stolen glances. I know. And I do see. You. It's just. The calls keep coming. Last week my cousin emailed a concerned article. How philanthropy funds moral decay. Pink envelopes again in metaphor. Eden's laugh was hollow. They'd hate my Des too. Back in Madrid, half the family still whispering about my phase. But you chose this. Chose me. I did. Destiny's voice steadied, pulling Eden back down. And I choose it again. Every envelope, every fallout. They made love then, slow and reverent. The way lovers do after storms. Hands mapping forgiveness, breath sinking like waves on the Costa Brava. Afterward, tangled in wool blankets, Eden whispered dreams. A life beyond Barcelona, perhaps Portland or Provincetown, where rainbows weren't rebellion but routine. Destiny woke to dawn's pale light, Eden's head on her chest, and a resolve hardening like frost. She slipped out, brewing café con leche on the wood stove, then sat at the cabin's scarred oak table with her laptop. The Harper Foundation's portal glowed accusingly. Pending grants, donor logs, the machinery of her inheritance. With a deep breath, she drafted the press release. Harper Foundation commits $2 million to LGBTQ+ equity initiatives in partnership with Catalan allies. No fine print, no hedges. Just truth, pink as a promise. Eden found her there, eyes bleary but brightening at the screen. You're really doing it. Destiny closed the laptop, standing to frame Eden's face in her hands. We're doing it. No more hiding behind audits. The drive back was lighter, the radio crooning Rosalia as they wound down switchbacks. Barcelona greeted them with its eternal hum. Vendors hawking castanets in the chill, the scent of roasting nuts mingling with exhaust. But normalcy fractured that evening. A package waited at the apartment door. No pink envelope, but a manila one, heavy with finality. Inside, legal papers from the family trust, contingent on alignment with core values. A clause her father had buried deep, activated now by the board's revolt. They're freezing assets unless I step down, Destiny read aloud, voice flat. Eden paced the living room, her espadrilles scuffing the terracotta tiles. Step down? From your own legacy. Eden's hands flew up. This is blackmail, Des. Emotional extortion. Destiny sank onto the sofa, papers scattering like fallen leaves. It's them protecting the brand. Harpers don't fund controversy. Eden knelt before her, gripping her knees. Then let them. We build our own. I've got savings, networks. No. Destiny's eyes flashed, steel returning. This isn't just money. It's my fight now. For you, for the kids in those safe houses who'll never get a pink envelope but deserve one. The argument simmered into night, words like embers flaring and fading. Eden stormed to the balcony, staring at the Sagrada's unfinished spires. Gaudia's testament to persistence. Destiny joined her, arms wrapping from behind, chin on her shoulder. I'm sorry, she murmured into damp curls. I hate this, them pulling strings like I'm still a girl in braids. Eden leaned back, tension easing. I know, but we're not puppets. Remember the march? The rain? We chose then. They chose again in small rebellions. A joint op-ed in El País. From donor to ally. Reimagining philanthropy through love. It went viral, retweets rippling from Madrid to Manhattan, drawing hate mail in equal measure. Trolls decrying woke capital. Supporters flooding the foundation's inbox with microdonations. Eden's phone buzzed with interview requests. Destiny fielded calls from progressive donors sniffing opportunity. Winter deepened, Christmas markets twinkling along the Ramblas. They decorated the apartment sparingly. A tinseled ficus ornaments from Eden's childhood. On Noche Buena, they hosted Leah and a few activists, feasting on gambas, eligillo, and trading stories till dawn. Destiny raised a glass. To envelopes, pink, white, whatever. As long as they carry hope. But betrayal's shadow lingered. In January, as hoarfrost etched the windows, a leak hit the Chicago Tribune. Heiress's lavish affair funds radical agenda. Photos surfaced, grainy shots of the Pride March embrace. Eden's face pixelated but unmistakable. Destiny's aunt called voice venomous. You've shamed us. Come home, get help. The words reopened scars. Destiny retreated, canceling meetings, her fire dimming to embers. Eden found her in the kitchen at 3 a.m., staring at a half-empty bottle of vermouth. Talk to me, Eden pleaded, sliding onto a stool. It's poison, Destiny whispered. They make it sound like you're the villain, like loving you is a disease. Eden's hand covered hers. Then let it be. We're the antidote. Therapy helped, a queer-affirming counselor in the Raval, where sessions unpacked generational trauma over herbal tea. Destiny journaled, pages filling with unmailed letters to her mother. I hated pink because it meant losing you, but I found myself instead. Spring unfurled tentatively, cherry blossoms dusting the Bourne district. The foundation stabilized, new board members. Activists, allies replacing the defectors. Eden's coalition grew, partnering on a youth center in El Raval. Walls painted murals of intertwined hands. One April afternoon, as almond trees bloomed white against the Montserrat hills, they hiked a trail near the monastery. Pausing at a vista, Eden pulled a small box from her pack. Not a ring, but a pair of silver cufflinks engraved with intertwined vines. For your boardroom armor, she said, fastening one to Destiny's blouse cuff. A reminder, strengthen roots. Destiny fastened the other, tears pricking. And for you a promise. No more funding from fear. Their kiss tasted of wild time and forever. Back in the city, they volunteered at the center's opening. Destiny reading to wide-eyed teens, Eden leading art workshops. One girl, 16 and freshly out, clutched a pink envelope, now a symbol of welcome stuffed with resources. Betrayal had carved them hollow, but in the filling they found depth. Destiny's family thought unevenly. A cousin's hesitant email, an invitation to a neutral brunch in Paris. Eden's sent care packages. Tamales, prayers laced with quiet pride. By summer solstice, as the city baked under a relentless sun, they stood on that same balcony, watching fireworks burst over the harbor for La Merce Festival. Eden's head on Destiny's shoulder, fingers laced. What now? She asked, the sky a canvas of color. Destiny smiled, tracing the vine on her cuff. We keep writing the story. One envelope at a time. The second betrayal came not from family, but fracture, subtle, seismic, the kind that starts with a sigh and ends in silence. It was late October. The air crisp with fallen fig leaves crunching underfoot in the Sarria neighborhood parks. Barcelona had settled into its autumnal hush, tourists thinning like receding tides, leaving space for the city's pulse to quicken toward All Saints' Day. Destiny's days blurred into a new normal. Mornings at the Foundation's pop-up office in the Poblenou Tech Hub. Afternoons bridging donors with Eden's programs. She'd grown into the role, her presentations laced with stories. Not stats but souls. The trans teen who'd found refuge. The lesbian elder reclaiming her voice after decades in the closet. Eden beamed at these shifts, but privately the optics nod. You're the face now, she'd say over dinner, fork pausing mid-Pausini. The golden donor turned savior. What about the rest of us grinding in the shadows? Destiny would laugh it off, pouring more Rioja. It's our win. Team Harper Morales. But the team frayed. At a coalition meeting in a graffiti-tagged warehouse off the Parallel, tensions simmered. Eden's proposal for a cross-border exchange, pairing Catalan queer artists with Mexican counterparts, drew pushback. Romantic but risky, grumbled Javier. a veteran organizer with a salt and pepper beard. We need bread, not bridges. And with Harper money strings attached. Eden's cheeks flushed. No strings. Destiny's all in. Javier's glance was pointed. Is she? Or is this her pet project, with you as the pretty poster child? The room stilled. Eden defended, voice steady, but the seed lodged. That night, walking home arm in arm through the illuminated fountains of Montjuic, she voiced it. Do you ever feel used? Like I'm the authenticity badge for your redemption arc. Destiny stopped, street lamp haloing her dark hair. Used? Eden, this is us against the world. Us, Eden echoed, but her eyes held doubt. Or you saving me from the pink peril? The words stung, echoing old wounds. Destiny pulled away, hailing a cab in silence. Alone in the apartment, she rifled drawers, unearthing a forgotten pink envelope, faded now from their early days. She traced its edges, wondering when funding had become a fault line. November brought rain. Relentless sheets that turned the Ebro Delta into a watercolor blur during their weekend getaway. Eden suggested the trip, a ecolodge amid rice paddies to reconnect. But reconnection faltered. Over vegan paella, Eden confessed the meeting's barb. It's not just Javier. I see it in the emails, the way they CC you on everything like you're the boss now. Destiny set down her fork, rain pattering the thatched roof. I'm not the boss. I'm the bridge. Bridges get burned. Eden's voice cracked. Or worse, taken for granted. I love you, Des, but sometimes it feels like I'm the cause and you're the cure. What if the novelty wears off? What if Chicago calls and pink fades to beige? The question hung, heavier than the humidity. Destiny reached across the table, but Eden's hand stayed put. I'm not going anywhere. This us is my home. Eden's smile was wan. Prove it. Cut the foundation ties. Let me see you choose me, not the mission. Destiny recoiled, the ask a chasm. Cut ties? That's my lifeblood. It's how I fight for you, for us. Exactly.
Eden stood, çayır sıra pink.
It's always for us. When does it become just us? She slept on the couch that night, the lodge's walls thin as resolve. Dawn found Destiny on the veranda, watching mist rise from the paddies like ghosts. She penned a note, halting, heartfelt. You're not a cause. You're my compass. Give me time to recalibrate. But time twisted. Back in Barcelona, the high holidays loomed. Thanksgiving, a transplanted ritual. Turkey sourced from a Gracia butcher. They hosted small Lia Javier, awkward olive branch, a few center kids. Laughter flowed, but undercurrents pulled. Javier cornered Destiny by the dessert tray. Eden's brilliant, but brittle. Don't clip her wings for your empire. Destiny bristled. Empire? I'm amplifying her voice. He shrugged. Voices don't need amplifiers. They need space. The seed from the warehouse bloomed. That week an offer arrived. A Chicago headhunter, dangling the CEO spot at a legacy nonprofit. Traditional values, global reach. Salary triple hers. Corner office with Lake Michigan views. Destiny stared at the email, pulse racing. Home. Redemption on her terms. She didn't tell Eden. Instead, she dove deeper, announcing a foundation expansion at a gala in the Liceu Opera House. Crystal glasses toasting Harper's horizon. Equity without borders. Eden stood beside her, radiant in emerald silk matching Destiny's eyes, but her smile strained at the edges. The climax crashed on a December eve, wind howling off the Med as a nor'easter's cousin battered the coast. Eden had planned a quiet anniversary. Candles in the apartment, a playlist of their first dance tunes from that auction night. But Destiny arrived late, rain-sodden, clutching a briefcase like a shield. Sorry, ran over at the office, she said, pecking Eden's cheek. The table waited, wax pooling. Eden's eyes narrowed. Again? Or is it the offer? Destiny froze, water dripping from her coat. What offer? Don't. Eden's voice was ice. Leah overheard, your calls with the recruiter. Chicago. Back to the fold. Betrayal reversed, sharp as a boomerang. Destiny dropped the briefcase, paper spilling. The headhunter's proposal, annotated in her hand. I was considering. For us. A fresh start away from the whispers.
Eden laughed, bitter.
Fresh start? Or escape hatch. You fund my world, then flee it. It's not fleeing. Destiny's shout echoed off the beams. It's strategy. We could build their bigger impact, less scrutiny. Less scrutiny. Eden's tears fell hot. Because loving me here is too hard? The pink envelope's too loud. The room spun, ghosts of past confessions rising. Destiny grabbed Eden's arms, desperate. I choose you every day. This it's fear talking. My fear. Eden wrenched free, backing toward the door. Then face it. Alone. She fled into the storm, leaving Destiny amid the ruins. Flickering candles, scattered dreams. Hours blurred. Eden at Leah's, phone off. Destiny pacing, rain lashing windows like accusations. Dawn broke gray, and she drove to the Ravel Center, finding Eden in the mural room, paintbrush in hand, daubing fierce strokes of crimson and azure. Go, Eden said without turning. Before you offer to fund my therapy. Destiny knelt, paint-flecked floor be damned. I turned it down. Last night after you left. Emailed the recruiter. Not interested. My horizon's here. Eden's brush stilled, shoulders shaking. Why should I believe you? Because I almost lost you. Destiny's voice broke. And in that losing I saw, you're not the cause I feared. You're the one I live for. No boards, no bridges, just us, raw and real. Eden turned, face streaked with paint and salt. Promise. Promise. Destiny pulled her close, the embrace a dam against the flood. We'll write our own clauses. No contingencies. Rebuilding was humanistic labor. Counseling doubled, date night stripped bare. Walks in the fruiterer's market, hands clasped over figs. Poetry readings in dim cafes. Eden's verses now laced with we. The foundation evolved too. Eden co-chair, decisions shared. Pink not a secret but a signature. Winter yielded to spring's riot. The city awakening in jasmine and jazz. On their first anniversary proper, post-storm, they returned to the Palau, bidding not on lots but legacies. As the orchestra swelled with Debussy, Destiny whispered. To envelopes unsealed. Eden squeezed her hand. To causes conjoined. The ending wasn't triumphant fanfare but quiet humanism. A life of chosen kin, where betrayal's scars mapped growth and love fierce flawed, funded the deepest revolutions. In Barcelona's eternal light, two women walked forward, envelopes in pocket, hearts unbound.